It makes me very proud to stand here at this beautiful farm that was preserved by Lancaster Farmland Trust in 2017. It's one of 502 farms that have been preserved by the Trust since we were started 30 years ago. When we preserved the first farm in 1988, no one could have imagined how successful the program would turn out to be. Farmers were skeptical, money was short, and there were many more questions than answers about land conservation in Lancaster County. But the small group of dedicated citizens who started the organization pressed forward. Lancaster Farmland Trust has preserved 30,000 acres, and Lancaster County leads the nation in farmland preservation. And most importantly, farmers are no longer skeptical. They've come to understand the value of protecting this resource so that future generations can farm as they have.
This farm is actually a part of William Penn's original personal estate. My father farmed it for 38 years and we've been on it for 35. We had some really good years and we decided, you know what, we should preserve this. Farmland preservation is not only preserves land, it preserves culture and it preserves families and it preserves a way of life that you really can't put a value on.
Agriculture is a big part of Lancaster County's history, and it's part of its way of life. It's an important part of its way of life because food is the essence of what sustains us. Lancaster Central Market's a great example of the importance of the agricultural community to our community at large. It is a joyful place where people of all ages celebrate the best of Lancaster County.
My organization has been a supporter of Lancaster Farmland Trust for a very long time, and I absolutely believe that we will continue to do so. It's important for our farmers, it's important for us, and honestly it's important for the community as a whole. It's important for our country to be able to feed the people that live here, and we're lucky that we can do that. There's a lot of places in the world where they can't do that, and I think we take that for granted sometimes as a society, and we need to understand that not everybody has the availability of fresh food like we do here in the United States.
We always said if we ever wanted to do something in the food world, it had to be in an area that had farms and that really valued the land.
While we're blessed with these resources in this area, and while a lot of people have this heritage of growing up with these ingredients, I don't think enough know them intimately. And so it's really amazing to be able to share on the plate what a snapshot of late July should taste like.
I just want all this land to be preserved in the Lancaster area because it's so beautiful, and I feel like it has such rich history that to see areas be developed is just sad.
So we preserved this farm with the Lancaster Farmland Trust in the early 2000s. And it's something that I really appreciate what the Farmland Trust is doing to help us as farmers, because we don't want to develop this land. I've been working with the Farmland Trust over the years. I've been actually doing meetings for them to help other farmers to be able to be effective in using their cover crops and being a good steward of the soil. But what I'm trying to do is to save the soil from washing away into the streams, into the Chesapeake Bay. It's not just the soil, it's the nutrients and everything that's there on my land. I want to keep that on my farm. And so I've had a really active relationship with the Lancaster Farmland Trust. And it's a really unique partnership that I enjoy being part of.
I've been involved with Lancaster Farmland Trust for a very long time. And they overcame every barrier that you could possibly imagine and started doing something that nobody really thought could be done. I've been on farms where a family donated the easement. They look at you and they begin to describe why they're taking the step of giving the trust something of enormous value, giving it to you. And the look in their eyes and the hope in their voice is, I trust you to do this in perpetuity. We've now got to steward those easements, and we've got to take care of this land that we've now preserved.
Lancaster Farmland Trust now has 50 farms on its waiting list, farm families that are waiting to preserve their land forever. We've made a promise to these farmers that we will preserve their land, and it's important that we fulfill that promise. And if we do, 4,000 additional acres of farmland will be preserved. When we preserve a farm, we also make a promise to the landowner that we'll ensure that their land is protected forever. In order to do that, we need the financial resources to sustain the organization and to steward the easements in perpetuity. We take our commitment to our farmers and to our community very seriously, and that's why we've decided to launch our Honoring the Promise campaign, so that we can fulfill the dreams of the 50 farm families waiting to preserve their farms, so that we can ensure the financial stability of the organization in the future, and so that we can continue to protect the quality of life we all value in Lancaster County. I hope you'll join me in honoring the promise.